Hey everybody, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have another mystery case card solution to solve for you. This is for Monday's case where I asked you to use 6 different pieces of 3 by 3/4 inch DSP or printed paper. So this is another solution. Actually, this was a idea casing from another demonstrator in my team, and I'm going to show you how I put this kind of framework together for you. So I'm going to be using the Christmas Means More stamp set for my sentiment. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. And I'm going to be using coordinating colors I should say, from the Poinsettia Place DSP. So I've got Bumblebee Yellow, Garden Green, and then I'm using the Bumblebee ribbon, the gingham ribbon. Okay, and it's got both Whisper White and Very Vanilla, but I'm going to use Whisper White for my sentiment. Okay, so how did we do all these fun triangles, right? Okay, so first I've got 2 different samples of our DSP. Okay, I've got the one with the poinsettias and the one with the little green ferns. And what we need to do is take each of these and cut them from corner to corner to make diagonals. Now, if you don't want to use a paper cutter to do that, you can do it with a simple straight edge. You just put your straight edge down and have it go from corner to corner, just like that. Use a pencil and very lightly trace your line, and then you can just use your paper snips, cut along there, and you'll get your pieces. Now, if you're brave and you want to try paper cutter, I'm going to bring in this little mini one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my DSP into my paper cutter at an angle, and I have this point and this point both on the cutting edge, and then I'm going to slice it. So I'm just going to put this in, lining up that edge, and then I'm pulling this one out. So I've got my 2 points on the edge of where my paper trimmer is going to slice. So take your time in placing it. Takes a little practice, but once it's in, I'm just going to push my guard down and I'm going to slice. And I come out with 2 triangles. So whether you do it with your paper and scissors or whether you do it on your paper trimmer, that's how we do it. Okay, so now I have a bunch of these already cut, and I've done the same thing with the green ones. Okay, so I've got lots of pieces here. So I'm going to use my Tombow adhesive, and hopefully it's going to be cooperating with me today. But I'm just going to flip these over 2 at a time, and I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive, not too much because I don't want it to squirt out. And I'm just going to build my framework. So I'm going to put this on and press it down. Now I want a little bit of framing around the edges. Okay, and if you notice there's more here, but that's because the other one's going to be offset that way. So here's the back side of my second color paper. So just a little bit of that adhesive, and now I'm just going to position this like that. So I've left a gap between them, and then I've positioned it straight along the edge on that side. So I'm just going to go back and forth and repeat the pattern and build it all the way up the front of this panel. So take your time. It takes a little bit of practice placing it, but we're going to be happy with the result. Now, if you get done and you've got more framing at the top than you want, you can always then take the whole panel to your paper trimmer and give it a little bit of a trim. Okay? So just like if you were cropping a photo for a card, you can crop your patterned panel the same way. Just trim it down so that your edges match. Alright, getting there. So at first when I saw this paper, I really liked the poinsettia paper, but I was like, it's not really Christmassy colors, how am I going to do? But then as I was playing with the green and the bumblebee, and I realized I had the bumblebee gingham ribbon, I thought, well, that's kind of cute and bright and different. So I ended up really enjoying the paper. Sometimes when you see paper, you think, what am I going to do with that? But then when you actually start working with it, it all works out very nicely. Okay, one more. Now remember, for my challenge, you're just going to start with 6 pieces of pattern paper. That's 3/4 inches wide by 3 inches long, and then the idea is that you use at least a section of each of those 6 pieces. So you do not have to do it as I am doing. I'm just giving you options this week of things that you could do. Okay, so I've already textured the front of my card, my bumblebee card, with tasteful textures. Now I've got this panel here, okay, and I am going to give that a little bit of a trim, I think. So let me trim just maybe 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/16 of an inch off of that top, just so it's a little snugger. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our panel on. I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. So we've got the textured card base, then we've got our printed pattern panel that we just put together. Then we'll add the sentiment. Now for the sentiment, I used the Tasteful Labels dies. I'm going to give you a peek at those. Alright, so there's that. So this is the one I'm using today, but here are the Tasteful Label dies. So they're all these fun, different shapes. Now some of them have the framing like I'm using today, where you kind of get a doubled edge around the edge, and some of them have the stitching, which is very similar to other dies we have for stitching, and I haven't used the circles yet, but I'll use those soon. So they're a nice collection of different sized dies than what we currently have, but they also coordinate well with dies that we do already have. So if you already have some of our double stitch dies, these will work well in conjunction with those. Okay, so I'm going to stamp my sentiment in the bumblebee. So just right in the middle, press and pull up, straight up and down, and then I'm going to take it to the big shot and see how that's going to fit right around there. Now I've done that already. Okay, so here's my die, and you might be able to see, but it's got like a double-edged frame, kind of like a beveled mirror kind of a look. So, okay, so now I'm going to add the sentiment right along the side of the panel. Now, one of the things when I was laying it out was I wanted the yellow to be offset with the yellow paper, so that's why I put the yellow paper on this side and the green on this side, just so that we would kind of have a balance between the two colors going back and forth. Then I'm just going to do my bunny ear bow. So I've got 8 inches of this gingham ribbon. I kind of fold it in half. I make 2 loops with my fingers. Then I just cross them over and tie a knot. And then before you pull it tight, you can adjust your bow to your size. So you can pull on the little tails to make it smaller. You can pull on the ears to make it tighter. And when you're happy with the size of it, just pull your 2 ends together and give them a snip simultaneously. That'll make them the same length and the same edging. And then I'm just going to put that on with a glue dot, if it'll go to the ribbon today. Haha, there we go. Okay, so I got a glue dot on the back of my little bow. I'm just going to put that right down there. So, there we go. There's another card idea for this week's case challenge. So I hope you guys are crafting. Remember, snap a photo and email it to me at susan@pumpkinhillstampers.com, and I will share it on the blog so other people can see your ideas. And remember, they don't have to be my ideas. I just give you the clues and then you craft. So have some fun. And if you need any help placing an order for our holiday card supplies, please remember to shop with me online at pumpkinhillstampers.com. And remember, I have a hostess code that you can enter when your orders are less than $150, and that earns you a spot in the drawing for the end of the month, free shipping on your next order. So keep me in mind when you need to place those orders, and if you have any questions, just drop me an email. I'm happy to help. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the card today and have fun crafting. See you soon. Bye-bye.